You can stop trying right now. You do not have to fix anything in this moment. Just being here is enough. If your mind feels busy, that is okay. If you feel tired or tense or not sure what you need, that is okay too. Nothing about you has to change before you can rest. And even if it has been a long day, it is okay to arrive exactly as you are. You do not need the perfect mood or the perfect calm to be welcome here. Any pace you are moving at is allowed. I am here with you. You are safe enough to let this minute be simple. You can let the day stay outside for now. And you might notice, without doing anything about it, that your body is already being supported. The places that are holding you up can keep doing that for you. You can let yourself be held by the surface beneath you in the easiest way. And if it helps, you can quietly remember this. You can let it be easy. No effort is required. Another part of you can handle everything else. You do not have to carry it all right now. If you want a simple anchor to return to, just this is enough. Let it be gentle. Nothing to prove. Nothing to solve. All you need to do is stay and rest in your own time. And now, if it feels comfortable, we can let your attention rest on something very simple. The natural breath, just as it is. No need to change it. No need to make it slower or deeper. Just noticing is enough. And if you are not sure you are doing it right, you can let that be here too. There is no right way to notice. You are already welcome in this moment, exactly as you are. Maybe you notice the inhale first, close to the front of the body, at the nostrils or at the lips. A touch of cooler air coming in. And if it helps, you can notice it in the simplest way. Just the leading edge of the inhale arriving. Nothing to chase after, nothing to hold. And then, when the breath leaves, maybe it feels a little warmer. Not dramatic, just a soft difference you might sense, or you might not. Either way is perfectly fine. And the out breath can be ordinary, quiet, maybe smooth, maybe a little uneven. However it is tonight is allowed. Cool in, warm out, like night air near the sea, moving gently through you. You do not need to picture anything clearly. It can just be the feeling of air coming and going. And you do not have to hold onto the breath tightly. You can let it be loose. You can let it happen on its own. Maybe there is a tiny turning point right at the end of an exhale. a small, natural pause before the next inhale begins. And if you do not notice it, that is okay. Nothing is missing. You can even let yourself be a little imperfect with this. Attention can come close and drift away and come back again. That is part of it. If thoughts drift in, that is normal. The mind wanders the way the tide moves. It does not mean you have done anything wrong. When you notice you have been thinking, you can simply let the thought keep moving. No pulling it apart. No fixing it. Just letting it pass by. Between waves, it's quiet. And if the thought feels sticky, you still do not have to wrestle with it. You can let it be present and also let it keep drifting. There is room for it to move on in its own time. And in that quiet, you can return to the simplest edge of breathing. The touch of cooler air arriving. The softer warmth leaving. And you can return gently. Not as a correction, just as a soft coming home, again and again, whenever you happen to remember. If you cannot feel the cool or the warm, that is okay too. You can just notice that an inhale is happening, and then an exhale is happening. Or you might notice the breath by the way the air brushes the inside of the nose, or the faint movement at the lips. Simple is good. Simple is enough. Nothing to manage. Nothing to measure. Just one breath and then the next. And if a thought returns again, you can treat it the same gentle way. A passing thing, a moving thing, allowed to drift. Between waves, it's quiet. And you do not have to stay with the breath every second. If you leave for a while, you can come back for one moment. And that one moment is enough. Cool air in, if you notice it. Warmer air out, if you notice it. And if you do not notice anything at all, you can still rest here. Your breathing knows how to breathe. Another part of you can keep the rhythm going without effort. And you do not have to earn that ease. You do not have to be calmer first. You can simply be tired and still be allowed to rest. And you can simply follow in the easiest way, returning when you return, wandering when you wander, all of it allowed. Between waves, it's quiet. Stay with that quiet for a moment, if you like, and let the breath keep arriving and leaving in its own steady way. And as the breath keeps arriving and leaving in its own steady way, you can let your body begin to settle a little more, like easing into a well-made bed after a long, ordinary day. Nothing special to achieve, nothing to fix. Let the jaw be unworked, if you like. Teeth not needing to meet. Tongue resting wherever it wants. And if there's any restlessness there, that can be allowed too. And the shoulders, you don't have to place them anywhere. They can simply loosen even a fraction. If they tighten again, that's okay. You can soften them again in your own time. The belly can soften too. No need to hold it in. Maybe it feels heavy or light, warm or cool. And maybe it changes from one breath to the next. Any way it shows up is fine. Nothing to manage, nothing to measure. Just letting the weight be supported. And if you can't find the feeling of weight, you can still let go of effort anyway. And between waves, it's quiet. Let that quiet travel down to the hips, the place where you can stop bracing, where the day can be set down without a story. You don't have to hold yourself up right now. Maybe the hips feel heavy or light, warm or cool, or maybe just neutral, and that's fine too. And the legs can follow. Thighs, knees, calves, all allowed to be exactly as they are. Maybe they sink. Maybe they feel neutral. Heavy or light. Warm or cool. You can let the bed do the work. You can let gravity hold what you don't want to hold. Between waves, it's quiet. And between waves, it's quiet. Nothing to fix. Just this gentle letting go, safe to continue on its own. And you can let that quiet keep moving, if you like. Imagine a gentle tide of ease, smoothing the shoreline of you. Not rushing, just arriving and easing along. It slides down through the ribs and the belly like something kind that knows how to soften edges. You do not have to help it. If you feel warmth, let it be warmth. If you feel coolness, heaviness, lightness, or nothing clear at all, that is okay. arrives is right. The tide keeps smoothing down through the hips, into the thighs, the knees, the calves. And between waves, it's quiet. If your mind drifts for a while, you're still welcome in the quiet. And maybe the tide gathers again and makes another slow pass, smoothing the hips once more, easing along the thighs again, unhurried, sliding down the knees, down the calves, as if it knows the way without you. And as it reaches the lower body, you don't have to choose anything. Just letting it be simple and letting yourself be held by the bed. And between waves, it's quiet. And one more time, the tide can smooth down to the ankles and the feet. No effort needed. No judging how it's going. You are allowed to be exactly as you are tonight. Let the lower legs be unworked. Let the feet be held. And let the tide become simple now. Just ease settling and then dissolving into stillness. And as that stillness settles in the feet, you can let it spread upward in the easiest way. Just for now, you might sense a warm, steady glow nearby. Not bright, not demanding your attention. Just steady and kind, like reassurance that stays. You do not have to picture anything clearly. You can simply feel what the idea of steady warmth does to your body, if it does anything at all. And if it does nothing, that is fine too. Imagine you are in a safe indoor nook. Quiet wooden walls around you. A simple chair that already knows how to hold your weight. A blanket resting close, ready to be warm in its own time. Far away, the ocean is only a soft background presence. A distant sound that does not ask anything of you. And here inside, the steady glow remains, patient and even. You can let another part of you keep watch now. The part that knows how to keep you safe without effort. The part that can keep time and plans and tomorrow without bringing them close. And you can rest in what is simple. You can let it be simple. Let the shoulders have permission to soften, maybe dropping a fraction. Or they can soften on their own without you doing anything at all. You can let it be simple. Let the jaw loosen if it wants to, or let it stay just as it is and still be welcome here. The glow does not need you to change. And in that chair, with that blanket close, you might notice the chest and belly becoming a little more unworked. Not pushed, not adjusted, just allowed to be carried by breathing that happens all by itself. And the chair can keep holding you, and the blanket can keep resting close, whether you notice it or not. If a thought drifts through, it can be just a passing thing. It does not need your hands on it. It can move along the way distant sounds move along. You can let it be simple. Another thought might come, and it can be the same. Not a message you must open, just something floating through the mind as the warm steadiness stays. You do not have to follow anything. You do not have to solve anything. The unconscious part of you can take what matters and set the rest aside for now. And if you notice yourself trying, you can let that trying relax too. Or it can relax gradually in its own time. You can let it be simple. The wooden walls, the chair, the blanket, the steady warm glow. A contained, cozy quiet. And the distant ocean staying far enough away to be only background. You can rest here without managing anything at all. Just letting steadiness hold the moment. You can let it stay simple. And you can keep resting in that simple nook. The chair holding you, the blanket nearby, the steady warmth staying the same. And from here, you can let your mind have a little more space to drift. Not to do anything. Not to figure anything out. Just to float toward whatever feels easiest. Maybe your dreaming mind likes the idea of a moonlit beach, a quiet shore where the light is soft and everything feels unhurried. Nothing to watch for, nothing to manage. Or maybe it prefers a starlit float. Not swimming, not working. Just an easy sense of being held up in calm, dark water with a gentle light overhead. Or maybe a calm riverbank. A smooth, steady flow nearby. Soft light along the surface. A quiet place to rest where the water keeps moving, so you do not have to. And you do not have to choose. You can let any one of them hold you for a moment. Or you can let them blur together, the way sleepy thoughts blur. Or you don't have to choose. Between waves, it's quiet. Just for a few breaths, you can come back to something simple. The coolness of the in-breath. The warmth of the out-breath. No need to change it. Just noticing if you happen to notice. Cool in. Warm out. And you might also notice the way you are already supported. The simple contact under you. The place your body is allowed to be heavy or light or somewhere in between. The shoulders can stay exactly as they are and still be welcome. The hands can be still or restless and still be welcome. You are not required to feel any certain way to rest here. And if a thought appears, you do not have to handle it. You do not have to understand it. It can become something smaller and lighter. You might imagine each thought turning into a small bit of sea foam. Just one bit. Light pale and already loosening. And without you doing anything, that foam can drift away. It can slide out quietly and disappear. And if another thought comes right behind it, that is not a problem. It can be the same simple thing. One bit of sea foam, drifting, dissolving, and even if it feels like a handful of thoughts, all at once, you can let them line up gently. One bit at a time. No rush. No sorting. Just one small bit of foam, and then the next. Cool in. Warm out. And if your mind wanders into the moonlit beach for a moment, that is fine. Soft light on the shore. steady rhythm. If it wanders into the starlit float, that is fine. The feeling of being held up. Nothing you need to do with your body. If it wanders to the calm riverbank, that is fine. The water moving gently. You resting beside it without direction, without purpose. And you can let that be a soft cycle. Beach, float, riverbank, or none of them. Or you don't have to choose. Between waves, it's quiet. And in that quiet, the breath can keep happening by itself. The in-breath arriving cool, or neutral, or barely noticed. The out-breath leaving warm or soft, or barely noticed. If you want, you can let the out-breath be the easy place where things leave. Not forced out, just allowed to go. Cool in, warm out. And if another thought appears, it can turn into foam again. One bit, loosening at the edges, drifting off without instruction. Another thought might come, and it can be the same. One small bit of foam, drifting away on its own. And you do not have to push anything out. The water can take it. The quiet can take it. And you are allowed to be exactly as you are while that happens. Even if you feel imperfect at resting. Even if you feel wide awake. Even if you feel half dreaming already. You are still worthy of this gentleness. Or it can all be vague. Just the sense of soft light and slow ease. That is enough. And in that ease, thoughts can keep arriving as foam. One bit at a time. Drifting away. Disappearing before it gets heavy. Another bit. Drifting. Dissolving. to the menu in the gentlest way. Maybe the moonlit beach again. The shore simply there, quiet and unhurried. Or maybe the starlit float again, being held up without effort. A calm surface that does not ask you to do anything. Or maybe the calm riverbank again. The steady flow going on without needing your attention. You resting beside it just because you can. Or you don't have to choose. Between waves, it's quiet. And even your attention can soften. If you lose my words, that is fine. Another part of you can keep letting go in the simplest way. Cool in, warm out. The chair holds you. The blanket waits, ready in its own time. And the mind can drift toward any restful shore, or none at all. Nothing to choose, nothing to solve. Just a quiet space and an easy release, repeating on its own. And you do not have to earn that ease tonight. You can simply receive it if it comes. And if it comes slowly, that is welcome too. And you can stay just like this, inside these quiet wooden walls, with the blanket's simple weight, and the ocean far off, steady in the background. You do not have to manage the night. You do not have to keep track of time. Another part of you can hold all of that for you now. And you do not have to check in on it. It can be carried quietly, without your attention. Or you don't have to choose. Between waves, it's quiet. If a thought tries to check the clock, it can be gently set down, not argued with, not fixed, just placed aside the way you might set something on a shelf and walk away. And if it comes back again, you can set it down again. No effort. No doing it right. The lighthouse glow stays steady. Nothing is changing that needs you. Your breathing can keep happening on its own. And the night can keep moving forward on its own, too. Minute by minute, without you supervising it. Or you don't have to choose. Between waves, it's quiet. Any drifting is allowed. Any wakefulness is allowed. You are safe here, while the night is handled for you. And if your mind keeps offering little updates, you can let them pass through the background, like that distant ocean. Nothing you need to pick up. Nothing you need to solve. Or you don't have to choose. Between waves, it's quiet. And in that quiet, you can imagine you are still inside the lighthouse nook. The wooden walls close enough to feel sheltering, without asking anything from you. A simple chair that holds you up. The blanket's steady weight resting where it rests. The glow is warm and even. Not bright. Not demanding. Just steady, like something that has always known how to stay. And somewhere close by, in the background, the ocean keeps its slow rhythm. A wave arriving. A wave leaving. And the soft space in between. In this little story, there is a keeper here and an apprentice. Nothing formal, nothing heavy, just two quiet presences sharing the same safe room. The keeper does not teach with big explanations. The keeper simply listens. And the apprentice, wrapped in the blanket, listens too. For a while, all the attention goes to the waves. The sound that comes, then fades. Comes, then fades. And if your mind wants to follow each one, that is okay. It is natural. No need to change it. The keeper, sitting comfortably, makes room for that rhythm. Not leaning forward, not straining to hear, just allowing sound to arrive the way it always does. The apprentice notices the warm glow, steady at the edge of awareness. It does not flicker. It does not hurry. It feels like reassurance you do not have to earn. And then, without announcement, the keeper offers a single, simple thought. Between waves, it's quiet. Not as a rule, not as a task, just as something true that can be noticed if you happen to notice it. So the apprentice listens again. Wave, and then the easing away. And then that small waiting space. Quiet that was already there. And the apprentice can let that be enough. No need to hold the sound in the mind. No need to listen for it perfectly. Just hearing what is here. And letting the rest fall away on its own. The keeper does nothing special, just stays present, steady, as if to say, you do not have to chase the wave to find peace. You can let the wave be a wave. And let the pause be a pause. Wave. Pause. Wave. Pause. And in the pause, the apprentice feels how the room stays steady. The chair still holding. The blanket still resting. The glow still warm and even. As if everything is quietly saying, you can stop trying now. And it is soft how the apprentice begins to understand. The quiet is not something added. It is not something created by effort. It is something that appears when nothing is being held. The glow remains the same. The wooden walls remain the same. The blanket remains the same. Only the noticing changes, and even that can be gentle. If the apprentice's attention slips back to the sound itself, that is fine. If it wanders to a thought, that is fine too. The keeper does not correct it. The keeper simply returns again and again to what is easiest. Between waves, it's quiet. And with that phrase, the apprentice does not try harder. The apprentice tries less. Lets the ears receive. Lets the body be held by the chair. Lets the blanket do its simple job. Wave arriving. Wave leaving. And then the pause, spreading through the room like permission. The keeper notices something else too. That the pause is not only outside, in the ocean's rhythm. It is inside the body as well. Not a pause you have to make. Just the natural easing when an exhale finishes. That tiny moment where nothing needs to happen yet. So the keeper offers a second simple cue, quiet and unforced. You can let the in-breath feel a little cool, if it already does. a little warm if it already does. No need to change the breath. No need to shape it. Just noticing the way you might notice the glow. Cool in. Warm out. And after the warm out breath, a soft little pause that belongs to you. And if you do not notice cool or warm at all, that is fine. You can simply notice breath coming in and breath going out. And the tiny easing after whenever it appears. Wave. Pause. Breath. Pause. The apprentice lets the shoulders sink without being told to. Lets the jaw soften, maybe. Lets the eyes rest, however they rest. And the keeper, still and calm, seems to be listening for the same thing again and again. Not the wave, not the sound, the quiet that holds it. Between waves, it's quiet. And slowly, the story becomes simpler. Less about keeper and apprentice. More about this steady room. This warm glow that does not ask. This ocean that knows its own rhythm. Wave, then pause. Wave, then pause. And with each pause, you can feel how nothing is required. And if there is anything in you that still wants to watch for the next wave, that can be allowed too. It can listen, and it can rest. and it can forget what it was doing whenever it is ready. You can just be carried by what is already happening. The breath happening, the body settling, the quiet waiting, faithful and open. Between waves, it's quiet. And you can stay right here in this steady room. The warm glow still even. The ocean far enough away to be only a background rhythm. Between waves, it's quiet. And that quiet can be more than a moment. It can be something your body remembers. Not as a task, just as a simple kind of ease that lingers, if it wants to. And you can let it settle in the simplest places. In the weight of your shoulders. In your hands resting however they rest. In the way the surface beneath you keeps holding you up without effort from you. You do not have to carry this calm carefully. You do not have to hold it in place. If it stays, it stays. If it fades and returns, that is fine too. Between waves, it's quiet. And you are safe to be imperfect with it. Safe to be human with it. No need to check for it. No need to measure it. Maybe tomorrow feels a little softer at the edges. Maybe it feels the same. Either way, another part of you can keep the gentle rhythm. The part that knows how to breathe without help. And even if the breath feels shallow, or deep, or ordinary, that is still okay. It can come in and go out, and you can let your body do less, little by little. And if you drift in and out of my words, that is completely okay. You can take what lands and let the rest pass by like sound passing through a room. Between waves, it's quiet. And you can let that be the only thing you remember, if you remember anything at all. A quiet that does not need your attention to keep existing. The glow stays warm, whether you notice it or not. The chair holds you, whether you think about it or not. The pause is still here, ready whenever nothing needs to happen yet. Between waves, it's quiet. Between waves, it's quiet. And you can let that be enough now. No need to follow my words. No need to hold on to anything. If you notice yourself listening for the next sentence, you can let that soften too, in your own time. You do not have to stay with me. You do not have to do this right. Between waves, it's quiet. The warm glow can soften and then soften again. The wooden nook can fade into simple comfort. The ocean can be only distance. And even the idea of the glow can soften. Even the idea of the room can ease into something simpler. Nothing you have to picture. Just less and less to hold in mind. Nothing needs your attention. Nothing needs fixing. Nothing needs to be carried for one more minute. If thoughts pass through, they can pass through. If everything feels blank for a while, that is fine too. Either way, you are safe. And I'll be quiet now, so you can rest. You can let my voice become part of the background. Or let it go completely. And if sleep comes, you can let it take you.